All right. Using Education Connect, the E31 destination point of administration. The destination point of administration is the owner, student aid, internet gateway, mailbox responsible for the security within the ed content. The destination point administrator creates and controls security groups and the user with those groups through the security view. The security groups share the common tag, the common TG number, the common connection type, the production test, and the common student aid internet gateway password. Common access for the student aid internet aid gateway. Main purpose of separating the user into the group is to regulate the user access within the ed content. Groups can also be useful for dividing functions among the users and folder folder icons representing security groups and security view. The security view, the user individual security groups who share the common access to EdConnect and the student aid internet gateway. Each of the financial student user ID has its own financial student aid user password. The destination point administrator should have signed the student aid internet gateway user statement on the file for each user. When you enroll through the student aid internet gateway enrollment site, the Fsa webEnrollment.ed.gov, you are required to permit the student aid internet gateway user statement as part of the online enrollment process. You should retain the statements at the institution for auditing purposes. Helpful hints. You can control the student aid internet gateway password to the group level. The financial student aid control and issues to access the ed content. You control the startup options, color preferences, file directory locations at the user level. Financial student aid user IDs can now belong to the multiple groups in security view. 32. Security authentication for the user login. The financial student aid user ID can belong to several different security groups with the Edconnect. For this method, it enables a single user to send and receive data using different TG numbers and connection types of projection or test. The educational content utilizes the two-factor authentication to authenticate the user ID. The password are issued to the financial student aid. Access to the ed content requires the group of the ID and the TG number. The financial student aid user ID, the financial student aid user password, and a one-time password when applicable after the initial rollout of the TFA or the two-factor authentication. All the financial student aid user IDs will be required to enter the one-time password. Financial student aid will issue the user's institution security token. This physical token will generate one-time password that is required to log into the educational content. Each of the group can be associated with a different TG number. If the user belongs to more than one group, the AD contact security authentication dialog box enables the user to select the group to log in under the session. If in the illustration below, the financial financial aid student aid user ID, the Peter.pdpa.fsa belongs to both the FSA administrative group and the FISAP group. You can log in with the software under either of the group. The authentication of the group of the ID, FSA administrative group, the TG number, the FSA user ID, the FSA user password, security code, and other, and cancel and help. Authentication group of the FISAP TG number, the FA user ID, the FA user as password and security code. Security code field whenever the user will enter the one-time password generated the physical token then issued with the FSA. The token must be registered with the FSA to register the token. Selected in the register and maintain token button on the security authentication screen. The user will be then routed to the login, the AMS TFA or to TFA portable. If the forgotten use of the token cannot be generated one-time password, you can reset by selecting forgotten token, but the security authentication screen, the user will be rotated to log AIMS TFA portal. If you have forgotten your password, you can reset the selecting the forgetting of the password base button on the security authentication screen. Users will then be routed with the change the password password site. Once again, TFA stands for two-factor authentication. 3.3 Security View. The controls of using access education views to enable to set up the security groups as well as create individual users with those groups. You control the student aid internet gateway passwords at the group level. The financial student aid controls issues access the aid connection. You control the startup options and color preferences to file directory location at the user level. Financial student aid user IDs can belong with a different group of the security view. The illustration of the ed content security view is shown below. Education security view with the file education record transmission tools in Windows and help. Education administrative group. Financial, and you see the different the folders under your security group. In the example below, the financial student aid administrative group, the FISAP, and the code represent security groups, while the individual names below the group, the names signify the user within those groups. As you see, they have the different user for the administrative group, the COD, and the FSIP. There are three-step methods using another group. The only user and belonging to the financial student aid administrative group can be move the user to another group with the dragging and dropping the financial student user ID. The drag and drop the financial student user ID to select the financial student aid user ID. Pressing your left mouse button to highlight it and move the cursor over the group and into the which you want to drop the FSI user ID. Release the mouse button. Any of the financial student and maid administrative group users have this function has the functionality to copy one of the users from one of the group to another group. To copy the financial student aid user ID, click the financial student user ID you want to copy. Select the copy from the edit menu. Click the group onto which you want to copy the financial student user ID. Select paste in from the edit menu. Any financial student aided user user can delete another user. The delete can delete another user, reinsert their user in another group unless the deleted reinserted a user in a member of the financial student administration group. Delete and reinsert. Click the financial student aid user ID. We want to copy the financial student user ID. Will appear highlighted. Click the right button, right mouse button selected for the detail and pop up the menu. Click the yes button, delete the user message. Click the right button, mouse button for the group that you want to add to the financial student aid user ID to select the insert with the pop of the menu. The user wizard to recreate the deleted financial student aid user ID. Alright, 3-4, security group. The educational connect with the security group represents the collection used who connect with the student aid internet gateway. Use the same with the TG number, the same connection type of the production, the test, the same student aid internet gateway password. The institution can have one more of the security group, the varying levels of the access to the educational connection functions. Security group named to correlate with the group of the function, the FISAP with the COD and the CPS extension. Connection type can be set either the current user of the prompted for the first non-administrative user to log in. See section 361 selecting connection for more detail. Only as a financial student administration group user can create and delete groups as well as modify the group. The TGM number. The financial student aid administrative group is a permanent group and cannot be deleted. The 341 to add a production security group. Open the security view by selecting the new or from the file by menu, selecting the security view with the list of the views. You can also check the security view button when the education connects to the manual toolbar. Right connect to the education toolbar connection folder. Select the insert with the pop-up menu. The group wizard will appear on your screen. 4. Complete the general information screen by providing the group with the name and clicking next. You also see your group properties, general access and network. Set up the access rights for all the users of the group with completing with the access the rights of the screen. Click the next. And when you click the next, you have your access rights, area and action and access. Set up the student aid internet gateway password information of the group completing with the student aid information screen, leaving the connection type of the set for the default value production. Here you set up your student aid internet gateway password, TGM password, and new and verified change to local only or network local connection type, and your debug tracing on or off, and finish. Click Finish. 342 to add the test of the security group. If you have been advised to set up the testing security group to advise the student aid internet gateway testing system files, the steps above the test of step 6, select the test of the connection type of the student aid internet gateway tab. Helpful hints: you can also access the group wizard help highlighting educational connect with the security view with the selecting insert with the record menu. Multiple groups have been accessible to the same TG number, but they cannot have the same group the number. For example, the group of the FISAP with the COD cannot have been accessed the TGA 0376. You cannot have two groups named to FISAP. 343 to delete a security group. You must be logged into the user of the FSA administrative group to delete security group. Open the security view for the selecting new from the file menu for the selecting the security view for the list of the views. You can also click on the security view button, the Ed Context main table, or the right click for the Edconnect8 folder. Select the delete from the pop-up menu. Verify the confirmation message. Delete the group of the COD and all users within this group. Then select yes. The AD Connect delete the group of the COD and all the users within the group. You have to be a financial student and administrator to view the security view and delete any folders. It'll give you a confirmation message. 344 to modify a security group that must be logged in within a user of the financial student administrative group. To modify the security group, open the security view by selecting the new in the file menu, selecting the security view and the list of the views, and also check the security view button with the Education Connect main toolbar. Right click on the Edconnect8 folder, select the properties from the pop-up menu. View the group properties dialog box. Open the displaying with the group properties screen with the group name visible. Group properties in your group name, general access, and networks group name. OK and cancel. From the screen, you can select into which tab you need to make the modifications. Click apply and then OK when you are finished. 3.5 Users. Within the Edconnect, the users represent the individuals with a security group who have access to Fsa User Id internet gateway through the group of the TG number that you can add user security groups in the security view. Users must be added using the financial student user ID, financial student aid user ID, and the financial student aid user password are issued in financial student aid. By default, the financial student aid user ID can create and delete any of the users except those in the financial student aid administrative group. To add a financial student aid user ID, to open the security view by selecting new on the file menu with selecting the security view from the list of the views. You can also click on the security view button on the Education Connection main toolbar. Right click on the security group on which you want to add a user. Select insert when the pop-up menu and the user wizard will appear on the screen. The user wizard identification, user status, first and middle name and initial, and to complete the information identification, click Next. Remember that all the user IDs must be the financial student aid user IDs, that they will not be allowed access to the Educational Connect for more than unintended transfer user ID box. See helpful hints below. Check the defaults if desired with the General Information tab. Click Next. Change the default directory. Save the desired for the direct settings of the tab. The drop-down menu bar above the Browse button enables you to set the path for the Education Connect database with the send of the path, receive the path, and click Next. Change your color preferences, click Next. Check your preventing preferences, click Finish. The password you establish from the group wizard is associated with the TG number that enables you the destination point to connect with the Student Aid Internet Gateway. All user IDs must be in the Financial Student Aid user IDs, otherwise they will be not allowed to access the Educational Connection. The unintended transfer user ID box is checked only when the Financial Student Aid user ID will be sending the IMP files, which will, within this box are checked with the Financial Student Aid user ID will not show up in the drop-down security of the Authentication dialog box. For more than an IMP files, to see Section 511, import IMP files. Alright, 3.5.2, to delete an FSA user ID. On Security View, by selecting new from the file menu, selecting Security View from the list of the views, you can also click on the Security View button on the Education Connection main toolbar, highlighted here in red. Security, this is the little lock. Right-click on the security group into which you want to delete a user. Select delete from the pop-up menu and verify the confirmation to delete the user Harry Potter FSA. And then click Yes. To modify a Financial Student Aid user ID, open the Security View, selecting the new from the file menu with selecting Security View from the list of the views. You can also click on the Security View button, the Education Connect's main toolbar. Right-click on the security group with which they want to modify a user. Select Properties with the pop-up menu. Verify the User Property dialog box appears. User Properties General Directories color printing of the user ID, Harry Potter user status, unintended transfer IDs, and you have your full name, first name, middle and initial, and last name for modifying a Financial Student Aid user ID. Select the tab whether you want to make a modification. An example, the full name of the field will be modified. After modification is made, click Apply and OK, and then you'll have 3.6 Student Aid International Internet Gateway Connections. You must be connected with the Internet before starting the educational connection. This is 3.6.1, selecting the connection. There are two methods to select your connection method. One with the first Financial Student Aid user. This is no part of the Financial Student Aid administration group. Will be prompted to choose the connection up into initial login. A connection has been not been set with the transmission. Do you want to select one? If you select no, you will still be allowed to access the education connection, but you cannot transmit until the connection has been set. If you select yes, you will be prompted to select one from the connection property dialog box. 3 optional. Click the testing connection you have selected. You received the testing completed successfully. Message. Click OK. This is your initial login setup with the transmission word will appear with you can run the test now and choose to skip it and check the one. I want to skip this box. Test box not recommended. You can also test your connection anytime by selecting the test for the transmission menu at the top of the screen. Alright, the Student Aid Internet Gateway Transmission Wizard. The transmission wizard detected the network ID that has not been tested fully enabled. The software brief of the transmission test must be performed to ensure the proper configuration and operation of the software on your system. I want to skip test or next if you can to cancel or check. Method 2, the second is a manual selection customized from the tools menu of the connection within the tab of the property dialogs. If not already selected, select the connection for the drop-down list for the connection to use selection. See the important notes and below the information by selecting a connection and the properties of the connection toolbars commands of the connection to use the phone numbers and previews. And OK, click the test and the connection that you have selected. You will receive the test completed successfully a message. Click OK if this is your initial login setup with the transmission wizard will appear. You can run this test now and shows skip it into checking the I want to skip this test box. Next, recommended. You can also test your connection at any time by selecting test from the transmission menu at the top of the screen. Your Student Aid Internet Gateway Transmission Wizard. Important notes. The drop-down list for the connection uses the selection box displays the list for the internet connection available on your computer. If you direct connection for the internet, such as the DSL T1 or the cable modem, direct connection may be the only option listed. If it's connecting with the internet using the modem of the internet service provider, with the most case, if the internet service provider dial-up connection will appear on the list, the internet service provider uses a pro-priority dial-up connections that are created within the install of the communication software. Although the educational connection may be able to dial up your internet service connector, the connecting the internet through the proprietary dial-up connection. The connection may use the protocols that will prevent the educational connection from sending and receiving data over the internet gateway. Some of the internet service provider communication programs do not create standard dial-up connections at all. Some of the internet connection may not appear on the connection to use the drop-down list. Note that you can select a direct connection even if you connect the internet using a modem of the internet service provider. Once you connect the internet through the internet service provider, the open internet connection becomes the direct connection that will allow the education connection communication within the Student Aid Internet Gateway. Selecting the direct connection to the internet before using the education connection avoid the potential problems associated with proprietary dial-up connections. If you select the direct connection, you will need to connect the internet through the internet service provider the way normally connected before the sending of the receipt of the data using the education connection. If you select the ICP and dial-up connection, you are unable to send and receive the data using the education connection. Select customize from the tools menu to choose the direct connection from the connection to use drop-down list. You will need to connect the internet service through your internet service provider. This way, you normally connect before the sending and the receiving of the data through using the education connection. If then select the direct connection. 363 warning: do not select any dial-up connections associated with the older versions of the education connection, such as Student Aid Internet Gateway 0 to T410. Alright, I just lost my page right there, Alright, we're at 363 warning. 364 firewalls. A firewall is a barrier between the computer with your local area network and the external source such as the internet. The barrier can be software or the hardware. The combination of the two. Firewall examines the packet of the information coming in and going out from your computer that prevents unauthorized packets from being sent and received. A port of a redefined channel with the number 0 through 65,535 used for the computer to send and receive specific kinds of data that your computer usually sends to receive the email through port number 23 to make standard internet connections through port number 80. The firewall can prevent the ED connection from the communication with the Student Aid Internet Gateway, blocking the packets of information that your computer is trying to send and receive the Student Aid Internet Gateway. Determine if you are behind a firewall. If you have the trouble connecting with the Student Aid Internet Gateway after installing the new version of Education Connection, contact your technical support staff to see if you are behind the firewall. Error 1 usually means that the port is used by the Education Connection. Send and receive the data is blocked. Your technical support staff will need to open the port number 26581 for inbound to outbound TCP/IP and traffic to give your computer access to Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox education for the testing system. Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox deviation education.gov to allow the education to communicate through the firewall. Alright, 3.7, your wizards. Education contains several wizards to assist you with the initial setup of the software. The following table describes each of the wizards. A group wizard prompts you for all the necessary information to set up the security group. To select yes when it prompts the update in a group, and choose to insert a group within the security view. User wizard prompts you for all the necessary information to set up the user. To select yes when the prompted the update with the user, choose the insert with the user to security view. Student Aid Internet Gateway Connection wizard prompts you to select the connection to use to send and receive the data. Selecting yes for the prompted to select the connection connection, student aid internet gateway transmission wizard conduct the brief test with the student education connection able to send and receive files. If you have completed the test, the wizard automatically appears on your screen and after you log in into the education connection. Alright, 4 passwords.